if you ever thought you knew what was going on with her, and God forbid you tried to confront that. But when her life was unpolluted, she could be the sweetest, warmest, most loving person in the world. She was also incredibly stubborn, which maybe explains me.
Ari Aster has been one of the most interesting recent directors who have started working in the horror genre. He began his work as a film student at the American Film Institute. While he was there, he wrote and directed 2 incredibly controversial short films. The first one, The Strange Thing About the Johnsons, is a deeply disturbing piece about a son who molests his father. Aster made it with Brandon Greenhouse, who plays the son Isaiah, and it came from a discussion about subjects that were too taboo to even be shown on film. Greenhouse and Aster came up with the idea before they even got to AFI, and Aster used it as his thesis. The second one, Munchausen, was a totally silent horror film and was about a boy who is trying to leave for college as his overprotective mother tries to force him to stay. It was inspired by Pixar, especially the opening sequence from Up. With those 2 films made, Aster graduated from the AFI's directorial program and then conservatory graduate program with an MFA in directing. By 2017, A24 was set to produce Aster's first feature-length film, and filming began in Utah. Tonight we're going to talk about Ari Aster's feature-length debut, Hereditary. We have discussed Midsommar and Beau is Afraid on this podcast before, Aster's second and third films. Our Midsommar episode definitely needs a part 2, as we really didn't cover enough of it. Hereditary, genuinely one of the scariest horror movies of the 2010s, was an impressive and highly disturbing debut from a director who, as a student, continually showed a knack for pushing boundaries and causing controversy through art. Aster was inspired not just by horror, but by domestic dramas. Domestic dramas are theater which focus on the characters' intimate lives as events unfold around them. They generally focus on the domestic sphere, the home life, and the family unit, with family dynamics and conflict taking center stage. And the first half of Hereditary, in Ari Aster's estimation, is all about the domestic drama and tragedy. Aster considers the film to be 2 interrelated half-stories. The second half, with the family tragedy set in place, is a full-born nightmare. The film stars Toni Collette, who is both the family center as the miniature artist Annie Graham, but also the film center. Her mother Ellen, with whom she had a fraught and difficult relationship, and who was both emotionally unavailable and secretive, has died, leaving Annie and her husband Steve, played by Gabriel Byrne, to take care of the burial and funeral. Annie and Steve have 2 children, Peter, played by Alex Wolff, and Charlie, played by Millie Shapiro, an actress with cladiocrinial dystosis. In the film's first half, Annie deals with the grief and trauma of mourning a mother she never really knew. As the film ramps up, things become stranger and more disturbing. Charlie is killed in a freak accident, Ellen's grave is repeatedly desecrated, Annie attends a bereavement group and is convinced to perform a seance. The mystery of Ellen's life gets deeper as the film careens towards a nightmare. Ellen's secretiveness begins to make sense as the truth, Annie's ancestral heritage, her mother's involvement in an ancient demon-worshipping cult, which holds King Paimon, a demon spirit who must inhabit a male host, as the object of their worship who they hope to summon. Paimon has a long history in both Christianity, where he's one of Lucifer's 72 acolytes, and in the occult, where Aleister Crowley writes of him in the Goetia, the Lesser Key of Solomon. He could teach us all arts and sciences and other secret things. He could discover unto thee what the earth is, and what holdeth up in the waters, and what mind is, and where it is, or any other thing thou mayest desire to know. Ari Aster conjures up all of this in a legitimately disturbing and terrifying film, which manages to explore loss, grief, family love, and asks the question, what if these family secrets are better left in the ground?
You're all right now. You are Paimon, one of the 8 kings of hell. We have looked to the northwest and called you in. We've corrected your first female body and give you now this healthy male host.